Konnichiwa! Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Nihongo Master podcast. I'm your host Azra, bringing you Japanese cultural and language content every week. Season 6 looks at working and work culture in Japan. The fun, the boring, and everything in between. If you've been keeping up with us this season, you've already caught up with all the types of jobs available here in Japan, some job hunting and job interview tips, a brief insight on the Japanese working mindset, a look at an interview run-through, and the pros and cons of working in Japan. And as easy as it may sound, it's not that easy actually getting the whole job hunting, working in Japan thing. So I thought of bringing someone else in to have a chat about it all. And she's our special guest for today. Coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, I'm excited to introduce to you Ellie Fox. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
So my name is Ellie and I come from Slovakia. I'm 27 years old and right now I've been living in Tokyo. I've been here for 2.5 years, I think almost 3 years, and I came to Japan as a student, and at that time I was studying at Ritsumeikan University in Kyoto, and I really liked my time here, so I decided to come again, and this time to Tokyo, where I've been working as a freelance teacher and also video editor.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you were staying in Kyoto for half a year and then now in Tokyo for about 1.5.
Yes. I went there during my master's degree. It was just a half a year, but it was the best experience of my life. And it's been my long-term dream to come to Japan ever since I was very little. But I never had an opportunity until my master's when the university paid me to actually go. So that was very amazing.
I do like Kyoto. I just came from Kyoto like a month back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really love Kyoto.
It's the best.
Tokyo's a bit too like fast paced for me, I feel like.
I think so. I feel like I would like to go back to Kyoto because the atmosphere there was a bit different, but maybe it's the fact that I'm working here in Tokyo, so of course it's not the student life anymore. So sometimes I think of Kyoto and like, it was such good times.
So you're working as a freelance English teacher?
Yes.
Is it just for one company?
That is just for one company, yes. I mean, it's quite stable, even though it's not like full-time job. It is still quite stable, and I would like to eventually just do maybe some creative activities. But for now, this kind of freelance teaching also gives me that extra income that I need because of the COVID times. So,
What was the other one? Digital
video editing.
Video editing. Okay, cool. Is that freelance as well?
Kind of, yeah, like part-time.
Okay, cool. So is it also a Japanese company for the...
Yeah, that is a Japanese company too.
Okay, cool. From your experience, could you give us an insight on the working culture in Japan?
In the English teaching company, it's like you can't really feel it, because many of the people there are foreigners. Even my boss is a foreigner, so I don't really feel like I'm working for a Japanese company. It's just that I meet Japanese clients on a daily basis. For the video editing company, there I can definitely tell I'm working for a Japanese company because when I try to communicate with them, sometimes we kind of struggle with communication, not because there is a language barrier. It's not because of the language barrier. It's just that they never tell me anything like directly, They always kind of just like walk around. And I have to guess most of the time. Sometimes I just feel like, just tell me, like if you want me to fix something, if there's something wrong, you need to tell me what it is, I can't just keep on guessing. But that's what they do, maybe it's because they don't want to hurt my feelings, or I don't know, maybe that's just the way they are used to expressing themselves, but it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes.
Oh no. Do they get offended if you say something directly to them?
Well, to be honest, maybe they might be a bit... I don't think they get offended, but it might be a bit shocking when I am very direct and I just tell them, like, look, you have to tell me what exactly you need and what exactly you want, because I can't read your mind. But I don't think they get offended, to be honest.
Okay, that's good. Now, I get with the English teaching, so I used to teach as well. Like, probably every gaijin went through that.
Yes.
But you can't really feel the Japanese atmosphere, right?
Yeah. Did you teach like adults or children? What was it?
I teach like of all ages? It's like more one-to-one.
Oh,
How about you?
mostly businessmen.
Oh, okay. So like
Yeah.
Kenji the salaryman.
Yeah, the typical bankers and consultants.
How about like for the video editing Japanese company? Is there like a work hierarchy? Do you feel like a hierarchy there?
Well, it doesn't really. Well, I don't really have opportunities to experience it, but from like when they talk, it seems like the hierarchy is quite, established there. For example, when I speak to a person that is helping me with videos, he's my friend, and he kind of like tells me what's happening. The things that I can't understand when they're maybe speaking in Japanese, or when there is some, like when you have to read between the lines. He explains these things to me, and he kind of describes the hierarchy to me.
Right. So it's quite obvious.
There is definitely. But
Right.
I just maybe paid attention.
How long have you been with the company? Like a year and a half?
For actually just for half a year.
Oh, okay. So pretty new in that sense.
Recently, yeah.
Okay. How about like do you have to commute to the place because of COVID now?
No, I have to commute to the English school. That's it. I can just edit videos wherever I am, but English classes, they always take place at one place.
Okay, cool. How about like the after work drinking? So there's this, from what I read, there's always like a culture of drinking with your colleagues afterwards. Do you experience that with your companies?
I've been invited to these things, but to be honest, maybe it's because of my culture. I don't participate, to be honest. I don't want to, like, I already see them at work. I don't really want to see them outside of my,
I think so as well.
like in my free time, So I kind of just say that I already have other plans, or...
I don't know. Do they get offended, or they're like, oh, okay, it's fine?
I think it's fine, to be honest. I think they kind of know that maybe outside of Japan, it's not always like that you don't really have to go with your higher ups and accompany them.
Okay, so that's good. They're more understanding of outside culture.
Yeah.
So how was your interview process? And do you think the interview process is different in Japan than other parts of the world?
I've only had one working experience before, because I graduated and then I had an internship, and then I started working in Japan right afterwards. So I only had that experience with my internship, and that was with a Danish person. And then I had this Japanese interview. And I feel like it was a bit different, because when I was having the interview with the foreigner, with the Danish guy, it was very relaxed. It felt more like a conversation, right? It didn't feel like an interview to me. While when I had this Japanese company, with the interview with Japanese company, it was quite relaxed as well, but there were more questions, I had to be kind of like prepared.
What kind of questions were like took you off guard or something like that?
Questions that took me off guard, I just thought that they kept on like asking a lot. There were so many questions, it never, like, it was like never ending. And they would ask me if I had any friends in Japan. I mean, I don't mind that kind of a question, but I thought, like, is that even important,
Yeah.
But I guess they want to know that you won't be sad when you arrive, or because you're alone or something. So maybe they want to make sure that you will be fine.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I heard that they ask like personal questions as well, but I think it's just to make sure that your life here is like stable, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of understand that as well.
Do you have any tips for our listeners who are either job hunting or applying for a job in Japan?
Well, I would say just keep on looking, because looking for a job in Japan can be so challenging. And, the worst thing is that when you are only searching like on English websites, it seems to you that there's just lack of jobs, that everything is either IT related or English teaching, so that can be sometimes frustrating if you want to do something else. But if you don't mind starting as an English teacher, or, starting with a job that is not your dream job, then I would say just go for it, because you can always find an English teaching opportunity here, or some IT related opportunity. But if you feel like you have to land your dream job, then that might take a bit more time and a bit more research. And maybe what I didn't do, but what I would suggest maybe to the people that are searching for a job now is contacting the companies directly.
Okay.
Not just going on their website and using that recruiting email. I don't know. Find them on LinkedIn, reach out and prepare a nice looking CV and have some email template and just keep on sending it to the people directly.
Perfect. I think that would be better, right? I think so.
Yeah. Or even call them, like recently I started looking for some other working opportunities and I'm just directly calling them like, do you have any job opportunities for me? And of course, so far I've just been rejected every single time, but you have to, if you just keep on sending CVs via email, then the possibility of getting a job is lower than actually when you actually reach out in person, or via phone call.
You're also job hunting now, somewhat.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Do you call and do you speak in Japanese?
Yeah, I prepare like a text. I speak Japanese, but I want to sound kind of professional because my Japanese is like anime Japanese, so I speak like, it's just so rude, the way I speak. And I want to sound, professional when I call these places. So I prepare a little text in Google Translate and then I just repeat the same. And then they start explaining something and I'm like, oh my God, I don't understand it. But somehow it works.
That's good. And this goes to our next question perfectly. How important is it to know Japanese language if you want to work in Japan? What do you think?
From my point of view, it's quite important. If you want a job, as I said, like English teaching or IT, because they accept people that don't speak Japanese because IT is always needed. But if you want a different job that is not being a business consultant or English teacher, then I think Japanese is very, very necessary, to be honest.
What kind of proficiency level do you think?
N2. I would always go for N2. Lower than N2, I don't think it can give you anything.
Are you N2 level?
I would like to say that I am. I think I could be N2 level, but my grammar is horrible. I don't know any grammar, so I can speak. I don't have. I think the fluency is there, but the grammar is non-existent.
I'm the opposite.
So I don't know if it's N2, but it's enough to communicate with people.
That's good. This is something a lot of us discuss about. Is Keigo difficult? I mean, you're almost N2 level or N2 level, Is it necessary then for non-Japanese speakers to learn Keigo?
They tell you that it is necessary, but I've learned Japanese on my own. I didn't study it at the university. I didn't attend any classes. So I kind of just gave up on ever knowing how to use Keigo. I'm just always relying they're gonna be forgiving because I'm a foreigner. So of course I try like the simple forms, des and ikimasu and stuff like that. But more than that, I kind of just give up and I speak casually. And so far it's been okay. But of course when I'm calling to these companies, I try to, at least add that desu at the end of the sentence.
Your game a bit, just a bit.
Yes, just like I'm there.
Yeah, I think Keigo is it is a bit difficult. There's a lot of changes that you need to remember, right? On top of your already a lot of grammar, right?
If you ask others, they probably say that it's important to know how to use it as well.
How long did it take you to learn Japanese?
Well, I started when I came here, so almost 3 years now.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, I basically I had some textbooks that I used, and basically what I did is just I bought a simple manga book. And I mean, I speak Chinese, so I already can read kanji, right? So I could kind of guess the story, even though I could not read it. So I just bought a simple manga book, and I started translating word by word. And until I kind of, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the faster you recognize these characters. And by the time I got to the end of the manga, I could already read it without the dictionary.
That's good.
Yeah. So I didn't use I used some regular textbooks as well, but I use a bit of a different method. So that's why my grammar is just so bad.
It's a fun way to learn Japanese, taking the less conventional methods of learning.
Exactly. I think that sometimes some people can do the, regular textbook and attending classes, but it doesn't fit everyone. So
yeah, no, that's great. No, it works out for you, and that's a good example to some of our listeners. So before we wrap up this section, you're an important partner for Nihongo Master. How do you think our online learning system is different from others?
The impression that I got from Nihongo Master was that you try to create this community, which is really nice because you can chat with others, you can download PDFs, which was really nice. I like the reading practice a lot. You can download these PDF forms that can help you practice, and finding these forms online is almost impossible, right? So having a place where you can find different sources, it's not only one way of teaching, or it doesn't only give you one way to learn the language. It provides different styles, which I really like, because I feel like if it's just textbook style, it gets boring really fast, right? So you need to kind of change it up. And I got the impression that Nihongo Master does that. So I was really glad. Also, as I said, the community feel in it was really nice. So I think it can encourage people to, people would motivate each other, and maybe they could see each other's progress, and also your own progress, right? So
yeah, because you're not alone in this learning journey. There's always other people with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's important, because sometimes it can get tough. So, and actually, I tried to do the advanced course, and the first lesson was already something that I didn't know. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm not advanced then.
Oh, no, same.
One day.
And one day. Well, we've asked our followers to write to us a few questions they'd like to know about working in Japan. Sometimes we shortlist to the top 5 questions. I usually answer this section alone, but I thought it'd be interesting if we have someone else. What do you think? Are you up for answering some questions with me?
Yes.
Okay. So our first question is one from Twitter. Konno Kuma, are there potential jobs for people without a degree? I have experience in government for years and wondered if that limited me to only that role. Any help is greatly appreciated. What do you think?
So, well, it depends on what exact job is she looking for. If it's government related, then, well, to be honest, if you want to work at places like embassy, you still need a degree. If she's fine with just different kind of a job, then, well, before COVID, you could get these jobs at a farm and places where you could kind of help out with some kind of NGO project and stuff like that. I guess the pay is not that great, but they maybe pay you with accommodation and food. To be honest, I think degree is quite necessary, at least the bachelor degree.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think I know any jobs that don't need a degree. Maybe some part-time teaching, but even then it's quite risky. You might need to have it as well.
Because, when you're applying for visa, they also ask you to provide your degree. And also all the companies, if you're going to work for a company, which you probably have to if you want to get a visa, because you need a proper contract, then you will definitely need a degree.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But I didn't know about the farming one, so that's interesting.
But I also, to be honest, that can probably only happen when you already work for a certain company, and then you can do this as a side job.
Right.
You will need to have a company, a stable company that will sponsor your visa. And to get this visa sponsorship, you will probably need to provide a degree.
So tough luck. You really need a degree. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is from C Lang 119. Best course to apply for work without a bachelor degree. Maybe apply for a bachelor degree.
That's the best answer, I think.
I wish there were other working opportunities for specialists, not just for degree holders, but maybe one day in the future it will happen. But for now,
I did read up on a kind of specialist course degree or specialized skills, where because there's a labor worker shortage, they're giving out this kind of visa. So maybe that is possible if you don't have a degree, but I'm not so sure yet.
So that would be like a job at maybe at a restaurant or service, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure if they can sponsor your visa, to be honest. I feel like whenever you are trying to, because I've tried to look for these kinds of jobs because I wanted to, I don't know, change the career a lot, and I just wanted to try something simple, like working in a, well, not, it's not simple, but I wanted to try something different. So I was looking for like hotel industry, tourism industry, and even when you want to work as a maid, let's say, you already need to have that visa. So I really don't know how you get a visa without having a company.
Yeah, so I guess like you can apply, but you won't be able to get your visa unless you have a bachelor's degree.
Exactly. Unless you have that company that will sponsor it.
So I mean, for those who are like eligible for working holiday visas, then they can come and get the job. Yeah.
Working holiday visa would be definitely one option, but I don't think that it's possible now, right?
Yeah, after COVID, I think. Yeah. We'll move on to the next question, which is by SNDASPTR. That's a tough one. Which JLPT level we need to have if we want to work in Japan? And another question, which is pretty linked to this one, is it okay if you don't know kanji? By Petito09NKS, both from Instagram.
Well, you don't actually need a JLPT to work here. Well, it always depends on what kind of a job you're doing. So if you are working for a Japanese company and it's not English teaching or being a consultant or recruiter, then you probably don't even need any Japanese. But if you're working for companies that require it, they will probably want you to have N2 level.
Yeah. I have a lot of my friends don't know Japanese, and you can survive in Japan without it, but you're kind of limited. You're only going to be able to do English teaching, all those kind of jobs. But I think it is to a certain level, I think you would need it, to communicate, especially. Kanji though. I don't know. I think there's a certain level to knowing kanji. I guess to kind of read stuff, and it really depends on if you're using kanji for work or just for like pleasure, right?
I find it helpful, especially when I'm traveling. You know where to go. You recognize the signs, so then it's quite helpful. But lately, I've noticed that there are many English signs as well. So
on a day to day, you probably wouldn't need to know, but it's obviously more convenient if you do. But if you need it for work, you probably need to go up to like N2 level, like you said. Yeah.
So 9J Jahan underscore fa 7. Is there any website or something that foreigners can use to apply for a job? Yes. Okay, so Gaijin Pod would definitely be one. Then there is also a website called Career Fly. I guess that's the name, Career Fly. And another one would be Indeed, but that's mostly in Japanese. Then there is Daijob.
There's one more, I can't remember, but Gaijin Pod is like the most convenient one, I would say. Yeah. Next one by I'm underscore and underscore Uzumaki. If you get a job in Japan, do they provide accommodation even for a while to look by our own and chances of visa sponsorship? If you get a job in Japan, it depends, like we mentioned before, whether they can sponsor the visa or not. But accommodation wise, my English teaching job did not provide for accommodation, but I know some of them that do provide accommodation. I think, yeah.
Sometimes when you get an English teaching job in the countryside, they do that.
Oh, cool.
But that's for English teaching.
Yeah. I know some of my friends that works for Rakuten, and they provide they reimburse the monthly rent and all that kind of stuff. So you can find your own place, but they reimburse it to a certain amount. So it really depends on the job that you get, if it's part of your contract, I guess. Yeah, but the one that they will provide is probably the commute cost, so your transportation, I think they provide, right? Most of the time.
Nra underscore san. Can a fresh graduate of university outside Japan work there without recommendation letter? Once again, depends on the company. Like my companies, one of them required recommendation letters, the other one didn't.
Okay, moving on. We have Simran underscore Singh underscore SSJ4. I have a question about a job in Japan. What are the requirements to be a Japanese singer other than voice and an actor? I have no idea.
In order to get to the country, maybe you can look for like a more stable company. So maybe try English teaching and try to find a company that has maybe flexible time. And in your free time, you can apply for these talent agencies. There are many talent agencies in Tokyo, and you can just, provide your portfolio, take some pictures with them, and then they will send you even weekly emails with different job offers, and you can adjust your schedule according to that, and then they would send your portfolio to these different agencies, and if they like you, they would choose you. And you can just keep on trying until you get chosen as an extra, or maybe as a singer at the boat cruise. Sometimes I have a friend that goes singing, like that.
Oh,
She's a member of one of these talent agencies.
nice. Okay. But can they provide visa sponsorship?
They can do that, but you have to build your career, right? So in the beginning, they will probably not provide it because you don't have experience in Japan and nobody knows you, right? So you have to spend some time applying and building your portfolio, and then once you get many different jobs and lots of experience, the talent agency can provide visa. But it may be after 1 year or after some time.
I guess it also goes the same for modeling. I know, you kind of come here, apply, and just build up your portfolio. But for those who already have a modeling portfolio, you can apply for a different type of visa. So I have a few model friends who are on that kind of visa, but you have to renew every 3 months. So that's tough, yeah.
The next question is from Spy X Family Tribute. I'm a teacher. Are there any online classes where I could teach either English or Spanish lessons to Japanese students? Italki.
Okay.
The Italki, like people pronounce it differently, so I'm not really sure. And on Italki, you're basically, you're your own company. You are basically a freelancer. You set your own price, you set your own schedule, and people just kind of book your lessons. You just publish your schedule online and they can book you. And some people, even here, like some of my workmates, they also are on that app. It's an application, actually.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good for people who want to start, teaching, build up the teaching portfolio, something like that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, moving on. By Virgic99, is it possible to find a job in Japan as an Italian translator, but I can't translate it to Japanese, only English and French, maybe an international company? So I have a friend who is working at like a gaming translating company. Most of them translate to Japanese, but there's also the option. I mean, it depends on the work that they need. Sometimes you can have those that translate to other languages. So there's a possibility, you can get visa sponsorship for that though. Not that stable.
No, I have no idea. I always when I hear of these gaming industries, it's usually related to translation from one language to Japanese or vice versa. So,
I think it's the demand. So like Italian and French is, from what I heard, is high demand. But like for me, I know English, a bit of Japanese, Malay. Malay is not high in demand. So it's kind of difficult. But Italian and French, I think probably there's demand for that. Okay, let's go on to our last question.
It's from Gray483. Can a foreigner find work in the restoration and conservation of cultural heritage in Japan? If we talk about the restoration of Oriental paperworks. Wow, that would be so cool.
I know, yeah.
Damn, that is a nice job. But to be honest, cultural heritage, well, there are organizations, usually every municipality or every prefecture they have their own website where you can search for this kind of information. But that is a good question, and I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah, it's a very niche area of work. Yeah,
I'm sure it should be possible because not many people can do this, so
yeah, you can get it probably if your Japanese is, if you can converse in Japanese, probably higher chances of getting it, I think.
So maybe like if you can contact each prefecture and municipality and ask them, they might be able to help you.
Yeah, there are probably different portals for it. I don't know, maybe not on Gaijin Pot, you know. So like you said, you should just directly contact the companies or like the places, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add before we finish off?
Well, I guess just best of luck when looking for a job to everyone. It can be a challenging journey, but if you really want to be here, then I'm sure you will find a way to get here. So
It's a tough process, but it's one that's worth it, don't you think?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, and thank you so much for your time, Ellie. It was so fun to chat with you.
Thank you.
Where can people find you, and what's your social media plugs?
So, well, I'm on Instagram. Basically, you can just type elliefox.japan. I use the same name on TikTok and also on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Ellie Fox, and there are two kanjis, tabi kitsune, which means traveling fox. I use that name everywhere.
And that wraps up our very informative and intriguing interview episode with Ellie. I hope you got a better picture of what it's like to work in Japan. If you enjoyed this interview episode, let us know on our social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you're keen on picking up some more Japanese for yourself, pop onto our official website, nihongomaster.com, to learn more about our interactive online learning system. At Nihongo Master, we offer efficient Japanese lessons that are quick, easy, and fun for Japanese language learners of all levels, from beginners to advanced. Our smart tools will assist you in areas where you need a bit of a push, and congratulate you on the ones you aced. Get a subscription today and get a head start on your Nihongo journey with Nihongo Master. And thank you so much for listening in. Join me next time, where we'll be looking at an interesting part of the Japanese language. See you next season. Mata ne!